We will give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Master, Savior, and King. And we will look at John, chapter 5, verse 39. Well, you said that like you know where I'm going. Going to John chapter 7, verse 37 then.
Hope you know by now.
John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of Elohim in you. You know, I had a discussion with 3 people last evening, and you know what's something that I asked them? Where is the fear and love for Yah in your mind? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to mention some people this evening. I'm not going to mention what they did. They can bring that forth if they so choose. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm going to let it be known they did some things in the dark, and Yah brought it to the light. Did he not? Well, let's go on and look at Luke chapter 12 then. Before we even look at Luke chapter 12, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 5 first. So y'all can know full well why I'm doing that. They don't think I'm just doing it for no reason. You ain't finna slide by like that, though. Matter of fact, that ain't what I wanted. It's in Timothy that I wanted. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 gonna talk about not eat with nobody. I ain't finna tell you not to eat with them. That means to leave them alone, let them be shamed off in the corner. We ain't finna shame them off in the corner yet. Sit here and look at what I want to know. 1 Timothy chapter 5. Matter of fact, before we even do that there, look at verse 10 in 1 Timothy chapter 5. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 10. Before we drop down, we're going to work our way around that for a second. He say, well reported, verse 9 is a little better so you know what's going on. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, having being the wife of one man. Well reported of good works, for she have brought up children, if she have loved strangers, if she have washed the Kodeshim's feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have began to wax wanton against a Mashiach, they will marry, having damnation because they cast off their first faith. You know, you sit back and you look at what that is. See, some of y'all get too hot in your behind. He talking about widow, male or female though. You've been uncast off your first faith because you going after your lust. But look at the next thing he tell you though. He say, withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. So you know what that's sitting there telling y'all? The only reason why you will have time to talk about things that ain't got nothing to do with you, because you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm talking about? That means get your mind occupied with something. Ain't that what he telling you? Is that what he telling you? But that ain't what we came here for, but he just put it in my mind to go there. Let's look at verse 14 though. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guard the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. Some of y'all need to sit back and learn. Y'all give the wicked one a chance to dishonor you on high because of the stupid, retarded junk you be doing. Y'all remember when he was talking about in Job, when he came to Job and he was like this here, he said, you know what? Have you tried my servant Job? He said, ain't nobody like him in the earth who will shew evil, right? And what did Satan turn around and say? He said, if you do this to him, he'll curse you to your face, didn't he? See, he wanted to give a chance to speak reproachfully against Job. See, Job hadn't given any action or anything in the indication for the adversary to speak against him. See, y'all turn around and y'all do stuff, and y'all let this wicked bastard that we call the devil be able to sit back and look y'all in the face and say, see, I told you. See, I told you. I told you. I told you. You think the adversary, you think that's just talking about the people you come across at your job, your family member? This man is on high accusing you before the throne day and night. Hold on, that's Revelation chapter 12. Let me look at that real fast. Let me see if that's Revelation chapter 12. Revelation 12 and 9, that's what I want to praise y'all for the word. And it says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. Notice how he called him old, because he was from the beginning. He was right there in the beginning, wasn't it? Called the devil and Satan, which we know Satan or Hashatan mean what? Adversary. Which deceived the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his Malachim were cast out with it. And I heard a loud voice saying in Shamahim, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our Elohim, and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. That means this man is sitting up there on high every day, running his mouth against you. He said the accuser of our brethren. We know who is your brother. He that is sanctified, and he that sanctified all are one. For we're called, he's not ashamed to call you a brother. So the brethren are those who've been sanctified by the body of a Mashiach once and for all for that everlasting sacrifice. This man sitting back looking there, he accusing you to Yah every day. Every day. And you know what the word part is? Some of y'all validate his accusations. Because you know, to accuse somebody is to say that they done something or will do something. And some of y'all validate that with what y'all be doing. And you know what the word part is? Ain't got no shame about it either. Not now, tell. Come on back to 1 Timothy chapter 5. Woo-woo. You ain't bring the alkaline water today, did you?
It's in the truck.
What good is it doing out there?
Fill it up, right?
Yes.
About 2 seconds.
Said that like you bought that or something. You know what I'm saying? That's that man water.
That man say he got, man, hold up, sir. Hold up, sir. Hold up, sir. Hold up, sir. What you is? You his daddy? You his war daddy?
No, I'm actually a friend.
What is you, his war daddy?
You know what I'm saying? Because you sound like you was just serving something. That's all I'm throwing out.
I'm saying he come in here yesterday with a big old thing of water.
Only reason I bring it down, I have my hands are full today. I have my plate in one hand, a scripture, a water bottle.
That is feasible.
But it's like some alkaline water.
Man, ain't nobody talking. See, I'm gonna tell you something. In the chain gang, that's how a nigga end up with a knife in his kidney.
Nigga, if we was in chain gang, I wouldn't say that. But are we in chain gang?
Yeah, you act like you in one.
For what?
What? For what?
Nigga,
For
I ain't
water?
Lord. You know what I'm saying? I got me a wife over there, cuz.
Okay. You
know what I'm
better
saying?
you better act like you in one, because you just about got stabbed.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Just about got stabbed. Just like cuz on that Dave Chappelle episode, I'm gonna just walk past, walk off like I ain't did nothing.
God, he-
All he gonna be like, he stabbed me. Believe me. Believe me. Don't think I won't do it. I know where to stab you at too.
I hear you. You ain't gonna do it.
Who? Bows in or bows out? Y'all know what movie that is? And what he told cousin Hannibal. Bows in or bows out. He gave him bows out. And when he pushed him over the edge, all his inside fell out. Y'all ain't never seen Hannibal.
Yeah, but I don't remember stuff like that.
Shoot, that was hilarious to me. And that part when he cut his head open and went to eat their brain.
All right. That shows us your character.
Yeah.
No, he told him right. They said the dude was real rude. So he had unsedated him and cut his head open. He said this is the part of his brain where the manners are. He won't be needing that. Cut it, fried it, and ate it. Say he don't got no manners. He don't need that part of his brain. Why not? And fed it to him. Fed it to him. Then got on an airplane and shared it with a little Chinese boy. Hey, that's why he's a serial killer. What you expecting? That's when he told him, would you like a popper? Now cut your face. Would you like a popper? Would you like one? Would you like one? We got some. Verse 19 though. Verse 20 actually. Them that sin, rebuke for before all, that others may fear also. I charge thee before Elohim and the Master Yahushua HaMashiach and the elect Malachim, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality. Now, you know, we talked about that last night, right? Ain't no respect to persons in judgment, right? So if I can rebuke one person, don't you know I can rebuke all y'all? Now, like I said, I ain't gonna talk about what you did specifically, but in a few minutes, I'm finna tell on your black behind so the rest of you niggas will know. I don't wanna be them niggas. I wanna be a Kodeshim, cause boy, I'm scared.
Snitch.
It's big words.
That's it. That's what the word say. Because you know what the law say. Say whether it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, they said do something, you say bring them out in front of the congregation and stone them with stones. That you might get that evil from amongst Yasharal. Now everybody must know. Don't, ooh, boy. Just like he got slapped in front of everybody in the room. Luke chapter 12. But see, I got to work my way there first. See, I hope your underarms ain't sweating. Like you sitting in the principal's office waiting. I wonder if my mama gone. If he done called my mama. Yeah, they called your mama. She gonna be waiting to beat your black behind when you get to the house. You sitting there trying to tiptoe in. If I can get to the answer machine before she get home. Little do you know, they call that work.
Then it may let you go to sleep.
You know what I'm saying? You think it's all good. Next thing you know, danger, danger. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. You like this here. You in the bed doing the worm trying to get away.
They ain't got this nigga name on.
Or my personal favorite. Don't take your bath, baby. It's getting late. You know, it's getting time for you to get ready to go to bed. And while you in there split splash, I wow, wow.
Hit the lights.
Wow, wow, wow.
Get like.
Raw leather belt. Oh, I won't do it no more. But you know the word part is, you nasty bastards gonna do it again. You know what I'm talking about? Not the word part. You don't sit back and look at, boy, y'all be doing stuff, y'all be bash you upside your head. Wah, 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 wah. And you still be like this here. I just don't get why there ain't nothing going good for me. Oh, you get it. Luke 12:1 say you get it. He say, in the meantime, when they were gathered together, a innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto the disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Now I'm sitting back, but I know full well, boy, I ain't been feeding you no leaven of hypocrisy, so I don't even understand why you're doing what you're doing. I don't know where you could have got that from. You sure ain't get it from me. So I only know the one place you could have got it from. Out your own unclean receptacle of a mind. You know what a receptacle is, right? It's where you throw trash at, garbage. You know what I'm talking about? Refuse. Things that no one desires. That's where you got it from. Cause you ain't walk around catch me doing none of this stuff y'all be around. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Remember I done told y'all before, like you walk in the house, you be like, boy, this ain't none of my child, boy. I had checked about this here, boy. It can't be none of mine doing nothing like this here. I don't know where you learned that from. Take that stuff back to the street where you got it from. Or stay out there in the street then. You know what I'm talking about? That's just bottom line. You can go out there in the street, stay out there with them with it. Don't bring that in here. You know, that's what messed a lot of our people. I see back in the day, you had them old black ladies, you know, them grandmas and all that there. Them kids come in the house, talking about, boy, they done found a pistol or some drugs in the house. They be like, you got to get out of here. You can't bring no evil in this house. You can't stay here. You know what I'm talking about? Well, y'all better sit back and realize, boy, well, you can't keep bringing evil in y'all's house. Boy, you're not going to be able to stay there. And I ain't talking about y'all's house as forth as no physical building. That man told you your body is the temple of Elohim. He who defiled the temple of Elohim, him will Elohim destroy. You know what I'm talking about? That man say, boy, you ain't finna be bringing no evil in this house. I'm gonna just go on here and get you out of here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna just go on here and get you out of here. But y'all don't consider that type of stuff. Y'all know what y'all consider? I want what I want. And I'm gonna pretend to be righteous after I do it. Just like the Pharisees did. He said they say, but they don't do. Them hypocrites. Well, you know the worst thing and it's just like this here. And hey, everybody different. You know what I'm saying? Can't stand no hypocrite. So in order to not be one, that's motivation enough for me not to do nothing. I ain't got no business because I don't want to be in nobody's face talking about don't do this and I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that. Because if that's the case, I ain't even finna say don't do this or don't do that if I'm doing it too. That don't make no sense. But you know what a lot of y'all do? Tell people not to do stuff, you doing it too. How you gonna correct somebody and you rotting yourself? That man told you judge not lest you be judged, lest that same judgment be meted back unto you. Say, how you gonna get the beam out your brother's eye when you got a mote in your own eye? Say, first get the bolt out your eye that you might see clearly to get the beam out your brother's eye. Oh, hypocrite, that's what he told you. That don't mean you ain't supposed to correct nobody, but see, how you gonna tell somebody about something and you in the same boat? I'm gonna read that again. In the meantime, when they were gathered together, innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. And that which you have spoken in the ear in closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. Well, you know, he's sitting there telling you go ahead and bump your gums in private, boy. I guarantee you he gonna make it be known. You could do something off in the cut, ain't nobody see. I guarantee he gonna make it be known. Where's the first instance we can see that at? Right there with Adam. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna go look at Adam first when it comes to this right here. It ain't gonna take too long. It ain't take too long. We just gonna roll, so you better put your seatbelt on. Right here in Genesis chapter 3. We're gonna look at it again just like we looked at Adam last night, and we're gonna look at a couple more people who did the same. You know what we're gonna look at? You know, you all know who Joab is, you know he did it too. You know what I'm talking about? He pulled the old junkie stunt too, try to act like he didn't know what was going on. Like nobody wasn't gonna find out he did it. You know who else was doing stuff in the dark? Absalom was doing stuff in the dark. Came out what he was doing though. You know what I'm talking about? Adonijah, Solomon brother, doing stuff in the dark. Came out what you was doing though. You know what happened to all of them? Died. Got killed. Judgment rendered upon their head. 3 and 8. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah Elohim amongst the trees of the gardens. So if they hide themselves amongst the trees and already did this stuff in the dark, now you're trying to hide. Because you don't want it to be known what you done. But guess what he turned around to do? He say, and Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? He said, I heard thy voice in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. So I want you to look at 1 John chapter 3, verse 23. See, that's what y'all be, you know what that end up doing? Something I was naked, I hid myself. See, you done something. You know you wrong. I'm calling for you, and you too much of a coward to tell me what you did. Cause ain't no way around that though. That's how I look at that. That's a coward move. Just go man up. That's how me, you know, the white boys like to call it like this here. They call it cowboy up. You know what I'm talking about? You got to man up. Every man in his life done been through that. Boy, you just gonna have to man up and own that. The only time you don't own that, that's why if you ever seen cops and they catch and the police catch them, they old lady riding in the car and they got work in the car, they always try to push the man to go ahead and cop to that because they know in essence men just supposed to own certain stuff, especially when other people, certain people are involved. You know what I'm talking about? See, you got some men to be like this here, shoot girl, you going to jail. Then you got some who know how it go, girl, just be easy. They gonna drop the case on us, cause hey, they can't prove it's mine, they can't prove it's yours. I'm gonna bond out first, I'm gonna get you out. Some of them niggas sit back, bond out, you ain't never hear from them again. Some of them bond out and come get them. You know what I'm talking about? You just gotta be easy. Cause you know the women get in a situation, they go to crying and boo-hooing. Cause a lot of y'all know, a lot of y'all got caught doing stuff you ain't had no business when you were young. Look your people square dad in the face, lied to him. Ain't did it. You had a boy in my house? No, mama. Why my window was open? I know you had a boy in this house. I ain't had no, who shoes these is? Oh, you know, now. Now you wondering why you get your teeth knocked out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And y'all thought that stuff was cool. Man, that's a hallmark of maturity to just sit back and say, you know what, I did that, I own that. You know what I'm saying? I'm caught, what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do? What you gonna do if you done been caught? You gonna have to take that, ain't you? Just gonna have to take it. You just gonna have to take it. All that they're trying to do like Adam did and hide yourself and think it's just gonna go, if I stay here, he'll never know. 1 John 3 and 19. Make it 18. Let's tell y'all something. What this man say? My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but deed and in truth. See, that's what y'all do. Y'all like to sit back and say, I love y'all now. Woo! Well, praise y'all. Hallelujah. All that good old stuff. But you don't do it in deed and in truth. Because in the truth, it's going to be in the Mashiach. If it's going to be in the Mashiach, it's going to be in the word. And you're going to show that in your actions. He say, Naughty, do you heard what he said? Let's not love in word, neither in tongue. Not this right here. Not this right here. You know what I'm saying? You know the worst thing in the world to see somebody do? Talk about how badly they wouldn't do something, turn right around and do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example of, you just threw me a lot. You just volunteered that one now. You know how bad that make you look? You've been and told somebody, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. Turn around and do it. Well, I would never smoke no crack, boy. What? You smoke no base? Yeah, boy, I just caught Link down that boy with a 40 in his mouth. Nigga walk up, boy, you smoking crack. You just sit back and you can look at him and tell he been smoking. What you mean? What you talking about? Well, look at you. Boy, what you doing? Boy, I thought you said. I'm telling you. You sit back, you don't look at him the same. Nigga be like this here, be like, boy, you gonna smoke some dope? Like, no, I can't see myself doing that. No, I wouldn't do that. But really going adamant and hard about it. See, I've known something since I've been in the street. Somebody can be real adamant and real hard about something they wouldn't do. Oh, they do it. Matter of fact, probably did it about 15 minutes before you talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody ain't gonna do something, you'll be able to tell that look in their eyes and the tone of their voice, like, oh, I don't think bro do that. Once you ask them, like, boy, you'll mess with that girl? Oh, no. Now they say you'll see like this, that tone be dead serious. Like, boy, don't you never try me like that. You know what I'm saying? I used to see niggas do like they say, oh my mama. Boy, I put that on my kids, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I put that on my grandmama's grave. Like, that's gonna convince me. Boy, I swear to God. You know what I'm talking about? Doing all that there. But I'm gonna tell you something. You know what the Mashiach told you? Don't swear by Shamahim nor rats. You know what I'm talking about? Nor by Jerusalem, because that's the city of the great king. But let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Because anything other than that come evil. And you know what we used to say in the street? Pretty much the same thing. Truth stand on its own, bro. Truth stand on its own. You ain't got to give me all that. If you ain't going to do something, then you should have just said, nah, I ain't going to do that. All that extra stuff, the demonstrative stuff, trying to sell it to me, I don't believe you. You need more people. It's simple as that. He said, hereby we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him. For if our heart condemn us, Elohim is greater than our heart and know all things. They sit back and look at it. Well, some of y'all, your heart's condemning you right now. Like, boy, I know I'm going to hell. And you know what? And when that thought come into your head, what's not coming into your mind is, okay, I know I'm going to hell. I need to change my life. I need to change my thoughts. I need to change my ways. I need to stop playing around. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to stop hypocriting. You know what I'm saying? I need to get myself fully in line with this man's will to the salvation of my soul. But you know what you're going to do? Some of y'all, not all of y'all, you're going to think about it for about 10 minutes and start going back about your regular business. You know what I'm saying? And you know how I know that? Because your behavior is showing that. That stuff going in one ear and it's going out the other. It's not resonating. It's not staying. Because the man tell you in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, he give the godly a way out of temptation. So that means before you went and did something you ain't had no business doing, there was something, there was a doorway open where you could have walked up out of that. But you chose not to do it. And you know why you chose not to do it? Because that's what you wanted to do. Do you remember when we talked about Ecclesiastes chapter 7 about verse 25? You remember that? You know what it said? Come over here and look at Ecclesiastes 7:25. How many times I done told y'all that what's going to take most people, what's the one thing I told y'all going to take most people to hell? Huh? Genitalia. Genitalia. Now see, I told y'all something last night, right? About, you know, a woman doing certain things with her kids, right? In the house. I'm going to tell you now, a man is just as culpable. Because if you do it with her, you just as rotten as she is. You know what I'm talking about? Because you went for it. And I know more people be like, well, you know, a man, you know what I'm saying? Just going to be a man. Don't make it no better. This to make it so, just so if anybody heard it last night, to sit back and think we ain't just going to put it all on the woman and the man going to skirt accountability. Because the man don't skirt accountability either. Both are held accountable. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times brothers like to do that, just put all the stuff at the woman's feet. You know what I'm talking about? And a man just as accountable, if not even more accountable, because he the man, he supposed to lead and set the standard in the first place. You know what I'm talking about? That Adam was supposed to come in and say, no, woman, I can't eat that. You know what I told you to do. You know what I'm talking about? Don't blame her. Set the standard in the first place. Set the standard in the first place. Psalm 25. He said, I applied my heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, to know the wickedness of folly, even foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is as snares and nets and her hand as bands. Whoso please Elohim shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. I'm going to sit back and tell you, boy, I done sat back and seen that there, right? See, boy, if you got any manner of righteousness in you, and this old wicked woman you dealing with, boy, y'all make a way for you to get away from her. You know what I'm talking about? You get caught up with one because you a sinner, he going to have her take you down. You know what I'm talking about? Does that mean that's like that in every situation? No. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of the times it's true, because we're not going to look at it tonight. But we know we can look at this word. The downfall of Ahab was what? A woman. Downfall of Samson was what? A woman. Downfall of Adam was what? A woman. Downfall of even Yahusha was what? A woman. Yasharal. You know what I'm talking about? See, but those who please the Most High, see, they escape from her. Even when we look at the end, it described Babylon as what? A harlot. A whore. Those who were of a Mashiach would do what? They would keep his commandments. They would escape from her. Those that were sinners would be taken by her. Because remember, we dealt, that's why I asked you. We dealt with that before. Now we turn around and I'll spin it and have you look at it like this here. You got to look at your lust. Those who please the Most High, well, he'll cause you to escape from your lusts and desires to stay locked into his will. Those who don't, they're going to be taken down by them sins. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to please him because your desire is to continually do what you want to do and then try to cover up what you've been doing. I don't know why you think this man not going to expose you. Let's go look at it, Ezekiel chapter 8 real fast with some exposure. Ooh, boy. All right, Lizzie. 8:1, Ezekiel. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Yehuda sat before me, that the hand of Yahuwah Elohim fell there upon me. And then I behold, lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire. From the appearance of his loins even downward, fire. And from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. So if he's seeing fire, what was he seeing? Color of brightness. What was he seeing? He was seeing light. So who was he actually seeing? He was seeing a Mashiach. He was seeing Yahusha. Don't you remember, as it said, it described the Ruach coming down as what? Fire. Cloven tongues of fire, right? You know what fire usually tend to do? You know what fire usually does?
Burn those.
Not only burn, but when you put that fire in the sun, what do it usually do?
Lights it up.
It'll purify it and bring it down to its base compound.
You said stick something in fire.
I just say, what does fire do? It purifies. It makes clean. You know what I'm saying? Now, hold what you got and come over here to Hebrews 12 and 29. Well, 28. It says, wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace. This is an underserved gift of favor, whereby we may serve Elohim acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our Elohim is a consuming fire. You know, that's what he tells us in the law, right? He's a consuming fire. Even when you see the burning bush, it's consuming the bush, it's burning the bush, but yet it didn't consume the bush. You know what I'm talking about? You look in the same way you say your faith is like the trial of your faith by fire is more precious than gold. Or as Paul told you, your faith being tried with fire to see what manner of work it is. You know what I'm talking about? You have to sit back and look at a Mashiach that same way, because he said, you know, he made his Malachim a flaming fire. Ain't that what he said? That means this is they on fire. See, you can sit back and look at, we seen old retarded posts. Dude talking about, you remember when you were so on fire for the word? Posting. He said, what if only thing that y'all had to judge you by was your Facebook page? I said, I know you's a serial idiot. So you mean to tell me just because if I post a lot of word, that means I got to be righteous? Again, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Because you can make yourself look one way in public, but in the dark you doing something else. But eventually y'all's going to expose you. And you know what usually happens when they get exposed? They try to say people hating or they persecuting them. No, you just a wicked bastard. Like a brother I know, he been posting clips, and this dude is bold enough to be on camera preaching the word with a Black and Mild in his hand, smoking it. Then he preaching, and you see him got his light in his hand, so you trying to cuff it, but you move your hand and then see your light. If that's the case, you might as well just sit here on the regular every time. What's going on, y'all? Finna drop a little word on.
Can't wait 10 minutes.
Boy, this black tasting good. Boy, he extra vanilla today. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, though, y'all have him expose himself. You understand what I'm saying? Because he been smoking. See, I been knew the nigga smoke. He just done got bold enough to do it on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, people knew he cussed, but for a while he wouldn't cuss live. But then he got to the point like, screw it. Like nobody had to expose you, you were exposing yourself. See, sometimes y'all don't even sit back and look at, ain't nobody got to tell on you because you tell on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Remember what Pimp C said? I ain't got to expose these faggots. They expose themselves every day. So we ain't got to expose these sinners. You expose yourself every day. It be little subtle stuff y'all won't be realize you do it tell on you. You know, I would, Mouth said something to me this morning. She said, you already knew what it was, didn't you? I already knew. You already knew how that was going to go down. Sure did. You asked me that the other day, didn't you? You say, boy, you knew that was going to play out. This nigga was going to hang themselves, didn't you? Sure did. Sure did. See, it's one thing, like this here, like he sit and play chess. I can't sit and play chess as good as other people do. I play chess in real life, though. You know what I'm talking about? I can do that fairly well. You know what I'm talking about? You might whoop me on the board. I push them pieces in real life, though. Whoop, 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 whoop. Rook has taken your bishop. Checkmate, nigga. Because now your queen is boxed in. He can't even move. And you be like, how could this nigga made that move? How did he even see that coming? How did you do that? Because I was paying attention to the board. I was paying attention to the board. Come on back. Sometimes you got to pay attention to the board, and the board is life. You know what I'm saying? I seen some dudes could push them chess pieces real nice up the road. When it came to actual application in real life, they were dumb as a box of rocks. Verse 2, verse 3. And as he put forth the form of a hand, he took me by a lock of my head, and the Ruach lifted me up between earth and Shamahim. You remember that? In between earth and Shamahim, a Mashiach on the tree. But get what though? He say he extended me a form of a hand. So if he extended him a form of a hand, what would that mean for us? You know what I'm saying? But not only this here, he say he extended the form of a hand to this man. He appeared to him in the appearance of fire, brightness, and then he extended to him a hand. John 12 and 34. And then after that, we'll look in Romans chapter 10. We're crying now. All over there fighting and whatnot. You say no. All right, little cheesy. Over there cheesy. He say the people answered him, we have heard out of the law that a Mashiach must be lifted up. Who is this son of man? Then Yahushua said unto them, yet a little while is the light with you. How did he appear to him? Like light. Walk while ye have the light, lest darkness come upon you. For he that walk in darkness know not whither he go. Don't you realize when he grabbed him to lead him, he was showing Ezekiel where to go? Don't you realize when you walk with a Mashiach in that brightness and he extend your hand to say, come follow me, he's showing you where to go. And you know what you're doing? We will not walk therein. He say, while you have the light, believe in the light that ye may be sons of light. These things spake Yahushua and departed and did hide himself from them. But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet may be fulfilled, which he spake, who have believed our report, and to whom have the arm of Yahuwah been revealed. Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, he hath blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, that I should heal them. These things said Isaiah when he saw his esteem and spake of him. Do you not realize Ezekiel is seeing this man's glory and his esteem right now? That's why he say, a hand grabbed me and took me in between Aras and Shamahim, earth and Shamahim. Right? The arm of Yahuwah was being revealed to him. Let's see what happened after that. Y'all don't even realize the arm of Yahuwah being revealed to y'all. He sit back looking at, boy, has your heart been hardened? Has your eyes been shut? Or your ears closed? So I'm going to read verse 3 again. And he put forth the form of a hand and took me by the lock of mine head. And the Ruach lifted me up between Aras and Shamahim and brought me in the visions of Elohim to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looked towards the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy. And behold, the esteem of Elohim of Yasharal was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. You realize the vision he saw in the plain is the same vision that was manifested 2,000 years ago when the Mashiach was slain in the plain. Because they came and snatched him in the garden and took him to Jessamine, which is a plain. And they hung him up between earth and Shamahim. And then if he seen him with the appearance of fire and brightness, that's how you know he was light in the middle of darkness when he made it go dark in the middle of the day. Fire because he was a burnt offering. Because he was taken through affliction. But then there's something else that I want y'all to look at really. What y'all think that mean about the seat of the image of jealousy which provoked the jealousy? What is the seat or the image of jealousy? You know what that is, what? You know what that is, like? Dwight? Cool. No, he said he brought him to the seat of the image of jealousy which provoked the jealousy.
That was my throne of God, would it? Because he a jealous God?
Absolutely. See, read verse 5. We'll read verse 5 before we keep on going. Then he said unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way towards the north. So I lift up my eyes towards the way of the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. And he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, see thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Yasharal commit here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary? But turn ye that again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 22.
What was you just reading?
Ezekiel chapter 8. Y'all going hard in the paint, ain't it? Make it 20. Actually, I'll say it about verse 17. First Corinthians chapter 10 and about verse 17. He say, for we being many are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Behold, Yasharal after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? What say I then, that the idol is in it? Hold on before we do this. Did you hear what he just sat back and asked you? What is the question that he just asked you?
Are not those who use the offering shares in the offering?
He said, are not those that partake in the sacrifice, that eat of the sacrifices, are they not partakers of the altar? Now, why would that be important? What does the law say about who eat the sacrifices? Who eat the sacrifices? The priests eat the sacrifices, right? What does Levi mean, Corey? Do you know? Troy, you know? It means to be joined. Now, if you're joined, he that is joined to a Mashiach is what? One spirit. He just mentioned that. You realize that when you eat that bread and you drink that wine for a Mashiach supper, you are partaking of the sacrifice. That's why Paul told you in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, that do you not judge that he that eateth set apart things ought to be set apart like those set apart things which eat up. Let me decide right there. I don't want to misquote the man. He say, do you not know that they which minister apart set about things live of the things of the temple, and they that which wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Well, you know, a Mashiach is with the altar. If you say you waiting on him, should you not be a partaker with him? Didn't he tell you that if you partake in eating his flesh and drinking his blood, you live by him as he lived by the Father, and that you die with him as he died for you? So that means he's sitting here asking you a question. Sit back and think about it now. I'm going to read that verse 18 again. But listen who he said speaking to. He said, behold, Yasharal after the flesh. That means if this was all the children of Yasharal he was speaking to, there would have been no need for him to make that delineation. Wouldn't you say? Is that not reasonable assertion? So then he say, behold, Yasharal after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifices partakers of the altar? If you're going to sit back and you're going to eat of this man's sacrifice, that means you're going to have to partake with it. You're going to have to partake with it. What did he do? We read it last night. He was ready to perish. He was ready to perish. He say, take up your cross and follow me. He say, he that follow me, say he that live by me will never taste death. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit back and look at that. If you're going to be a partaker of this sacrifice, you're going to have to be a partaker of that altar. You're going to have to live of the things of the temple. When we know a Mashiach is the temple, you're going to have to live by that. If you don't want to live by that, it better serve just fold your tent up, man. Going back to the house, man. Do what you do. Eat, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow you die. Y'all, wouldn't y'all feel like that's reasonable thing to say? You either going to live by him, or you're going to go to hell pretending to live by him. And if you're going to go to hell pretending to live by him, you might as well live in style. Go do your thing. Because you ain't going to be like, well, shoot, they put on a good old show. Boy, you might as well go to hell doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Get freaky with as many women you want. Put your whole clothes back on. Get your weed back going. Get your liquor back going. Get your club nights back going. And do your thing. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, that halfway living, boy, you still ain't getting nothing. He said, what is the hope of the hypocrite when his hope perish? He will receive nothing of y'all. Sit back, think that's no game now. Verse 19, though, he say, what say I then, that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to Elohim. And I would not that you have fellowship with devils. You cannot drink the cup of a Mashiach and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of a Mashiach's table and the table of devils. Do we provoke a Mashiach to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? And what were they turning around doing over there in Ezekiel chapter 8? Provoking him to jealousy, wasn't it? You don't sit back and realize, man, now when we read 1 Samuel 15:23, you know what it said? That stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. We know what Mashiach said, what? He that come unto me must hate his father, his mother, his brother, his sister, his kids, and his own life also. Showing what? If you go to your own will and be stubborn and say, I'm going to do what I want to do, then you are an idolater. And now you have provoked Yah to jealousy because you serve someone else other than him. And it ain't just got to be like this. It can be your job. It can be your kids. It can be your old lady. You know what I'm talking about? It could be it could be sex. It could be clothes. It could be cars. Whatever that's getting your attention more than Yah, that one became your God. Woo! Now you done provoked him to jealousy. Because as Glover already stated, y'all know what the law say. I'm Yahuwah thy Elohim. I am a jealous Elohim. Have no other gods before me. See, some of y'all got other gods before him. And that's why he can't bless you. Remember, we read about that in Jeremiah chapter 5. He said, your sins have withholding these good things from you. Y'all can't even give you nothing because you're wicked. I will not reward contrary behavior. Because that will reinforce to your silly, ignorant, retarded behind that you can be contrary. And that's why I ain't gonna say that there because some of y'all done it. You know, you don't raise kids like that. You don't reward kids for disobedient behavior. Because you know that reinforces to them that they can be disobedient and continue to receive what they want. Please know that y'all don't do that. You know, that would be, you know, if he end up blessing you for disobedient behavior, you know what that ends up being? You going to hell. Because he's setting you up for the fall. So y'all don't really sit back and y'all don't really look at stuff. So I'm going to tell you something. T texted me something this morning, right? And she just was thinking on something. And she was like, you know, because of things you done told me, I always take my time making decisions and make sure that I look at it and don't judge according to my desire, but judge it according to the word that judges righteously to make the right decision. She say, after I started doing that, I stopped making wrong decisions. You know what I'm saying? You know what some of y'all problem is? You don't take your time for you make a decision. You drag your feet, you hesitate, you know what I'm saying? This, that, there, and the other. Well, not hesitate, you move too fast, that's what I meant to say. You gone. Rubber done hit the road. You know what I'm saying? You got what's the word I'm looking for? Blisters, burns, scrapes all on your feet, ran straight up out your shoes. Like Forrest Gump ran up out them splints on his leg, ran straight up out your shoes. Moving too fast. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all, man, straight up and down, moving too fast is the sign of an immature mind. Children move too fast. Children don't think. You know what I'm saying? Children are reactionary. They go by how they feel. I feel like this here. You know what happens with children when they don't feel like, when they really wanted that toy and they want to play with it, and after they tired of it after 3 days, they throw it away and don't touch it no more because the feeling is past. It's the same way when men be out here horning in the street. Once I done had sex with you, now that I ejaculated, everything you do irks me. The feeling is past. Do you know what I'm saying? The feeling is past. Y'all sit back and look at it, man. I don't know what y'all be in such a hurry for. You know what I'm saying? When some things, man, you know you got to move, as Joe Clark say, move expeditious. Ain't that what it does? Some things, you got to take your time. You know the biggest thing you supposed to take your time with? A mate. You know one thing you should take your time with, but still have a sense of urgency with? Starting a business. You know you got to be patient, but you got to be ready to roll at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't wait too long, but you don't want to move too fast. Got to have a good balance. You know what I'm talking about? You know, sit back talking about having children. I'll take your time thinking about that before you be ready to go do that there. Even when you're dealing with children, just dealing with children, period. Got to be patient. Got to take your time with them. You know what I'm saying? You got to be patient with them. They don't know nothing. You know the only thing children know? What you show them. Show them a nigga, they gonna act like a nigga. Show them a liar, they gonna be a liar. Show them a schemer, they gonna be a schemer. Right or wrong? We just were talking about this here today. Say, you know what I'm saying? Little mother say now, Lizzie, don't call her mama. She say what she hear Dwight say. Baby. And she run around and repeat. We already know what little Mike do. Repeat everything. Lee say my little Mike that's at the house, say his favorite thing is nasty digger. That's what he like to repeat. Say he remember that day. She say he try to say Ruach HaKodesh. Say he try to say that then. He'll say hallelujah. But he say that's his thing just out the blue. Nasty nigga. What he say? I don't know. I don't know what he say. I don't know where he got that from. You know what I'm saying? Kingston do it too. You repeat stuff I say. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying with kids, period, though, they do that. They repeat stuff that y'all say. They copy your mannerisms. Come on back to Ezekiel chapter. Finish this one part, transition to the next. How many of y'all feel like y'all been provoking y'all to jealousy? That ain't no good thing, boy, when he say here consuming fire, because when he said that in the law, he was talking about burning them up if they worship other gods. Let's just look at Deuteronomy chapter 4, you see it for yourself. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Woo. Verse 15. Deuteronomy 4 and 15. Elizabeth? Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahuwah spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves, and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that fly in the air. The likeness of anything that creep on the ground. The likeness of any fish that's in the waters beneath the earth. Don't you realize all them people got that good old fish on their car, they going to hell? Got him. He got him. Hold on. Right here. All right, and he's saying, lest thou lift up thy eyes unto Shamahim, and when thou see the sun and the moon and the stars and all the hosts of Shamahim, and should be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahuwah the Elohim have divided into all the nations under the whole Shamahim. But Yahuwah have taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Mishraim, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. Furthermore, Yahuwah was angry with me for your sakes, and swear that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go into that good land which Yahuwah thy Elohim give thee for an inheritance. But I must die in this land, I must not go over Jordan, but you shall go over to possess that good land. Take heed unto yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, which he made with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which Yahuwah thy Elohim hath forbidden thee. For Yahuwah the Elohim is a consuming fire, even a jealous Elohim. He will already sit back telling you, I'm burning your stink behind up. You worship another God now. And that's what some of y'all been doing. Some of y'all God is the job God, the lust God, the money God, the car God, my wife God, my girlfriend God, my boyfriend God, my children God. You've been worshiping somebody. You ain't been worshiping Yahweh. You know what I'm talking about? I just gotta be real about it, man. Get your mind right. Come back to Secret Child Day. Get your focus back on point. That's why I'm tripping on Buddy talking about, when you on fire for the word, you ain't posting no more. What if y'all judged your life off your Facebook page? Well, I guess a lot of these niggas gonna get in then. If we gonna judge it by that, if we gonna judge it by just posting scriptures every day, it's a lot of niggas gonna get in. But guess what he gonna judge it by? Your works. That's what he gonna judge it by. You ain't skating away, you rotten bastard. You know what I'm talking about? Tino the nigga, he's a rotten bastard. I'll let T tell you what type of time he was on. You can have T. Look at about verse 6. We stopped at verse 6, didn't we? Or verse 7 where we stopped. He brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then he said unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. When I digged in the wall, behold, the door. And when he said unto me, Go and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went and saw, behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Yasharal portrayed upon the wall round about. Ain't that something that's just what you see in black people's house? All manner of idols all on the walls. Say, ain't that what you see? Can't we go in some black people's house, see Caesar Borgia on the wall? Crosses on the wall. Fishes on the wall. Horus on the wall. Penis and vagina on the wall. When I say that, I'm talking about an arm. He's saying there stood before them 70 men, ancients of the house of Yasharal. In the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand. And a thick cloud of incense went up. Listen to what they say. Then he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Yasharal do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery. For they say, Yahuwah see us not. Yahuwah hath forsaken the earth. That's what y'all be doing. So I'm going to sit back and tell you before we go further. Y'all ready for this here? Langston, Mouse, Brittany, Brian, Corey, all y'all, that man had to go ahead and put you out there for what y'all had done. See, you were doing it in the dark. But he said back and said, y'all thought in your mind when you were doing it, y'all don't see us. He hath forsaken the earth. You know what I'm talking about? When the whole time he like this here, oh, I don't see y'all. I don't see you. He said, I saw that. He said, I saw that. I saw that. And I'm going to make sure that everybody else see it too. So the rest of y'all will know. That's sitting in their room, that's on his phone, that it is not wise to go contrary to the will of Yahuwah in no shape, form, or fashion. Because this is risking your life. Now, I don't never care to have to do nothing like this. But it's got to be done. You already said the things that you're doing in the dark, right? He said, boy, y'all don't see us. See, come back and look at 2 Samuel chapter 3. Look at Joab tried to do. He tried to do something in the dark. Y'all brought it to the light, though. 2 Samuel chapter 3. 53 minutes, 8:46. We making good time, Jim Dandy. We making good time. Y'all all right? It's like this here, just like y'all know, it's a young woman, she got mad. Because we caught wind of something she ain't had no business. I went all in. You know why I went all in? Because it was done in public. So since you did it in public, I'm going in. I'm going in to save your soul. I don't care if you don't like it or not. You want somebody to kiss your rump, go get your fan club. You can have a fan club kiss your butt straight to hell and you'll be right there with them. You know what I'm saying? That's what people's problem is. You want somebody to kiss your behind, tell you it's all right for you being a hellion, for you being a miscreant. Ain't nothing cool about that. Well, ain't nobody love you telling you it's all right, you did wrong. They don't love you. You know what I'm talking about? That's not no friend. That's not no family. But you know, Hebrews don't like that. Don't tell me about what I'm doing. Encourage me, brother. Ain't that what he said? Encourage me, brother. Encourage me in my sin. Strengthen me in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what some of y'all do too? I'm going to say, at least on your end. I ain't going to say you was all the way in, because I already told you. You wasn't thinking. You know what I'm saying? You ain't do what I told you. But you know what Paul say? Well, he say, let us do evil that good may come. You know you backwards, right? How you going to do sin and think good going to come out of that? You's a stupid idiot. Ain't nothing good going to come from evil. You don't believe? That's what Romans chapter 3, look, see for yourself. Paul say, let us do evil that good may come. That's what be in y'all mind. You think you can do evil and then somehow, some way, good can be brought out of the evil that you have done. Ain't no good coming from that. See, that's something y'all had me learn real early. I said, boy, we were trying to do a lot of stuff before I went to prison with dope money. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take dope money and flip it legit, then turn around and do good. When we started dealing with the word and I went to thinking back on it, it was like there was a reason why he didn't let that happen. Why would I let you do good from evil? The genesis and birth of it was from evil. It wasn't no good come from it. So I'm tell you something. Me and T been together like going on 2 years. You know, like them first. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. If you talking to somebody over a period of time, ain't tell you no lie. Eventually, discussions that pertain to sexual contact eventually gonna come up. That's just natural, you human. But if that comes up within the first 90 days, something is absolutely wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That means you can't really be in this situation because you really want to deal with this person. You're just a lustful individual. You know, me and T ain't talked about nothing like that for a long time. You know the kind of stuff we discussed? We're going to sit back and look at, we possibly going to try to see if we can make this become a life partnership by how we going to build a life together and the type of things that she might want to do and the type of things that I'm looking to do that where we can be able to have a life together. Not about what position I want to put you in. You know what I'm saying? Not about what I'm going to do to you. Those type of things did not come up. That's real talk though. Them type of things ain't come up like, girl, boy, I'm going to get you like this here. Woo, woo, woo. None of that. I'm being honest though. Those conversations didn't come up. We didn't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick because you know why? Cause I just explained this to court. You know when you get married, that sex is probably only gonna be like 2-3% of your entire marriage.
Huh?
Hey man, that's my sister, bro.
No, I mean I'm talking about preach.
No.
Yeah.
Y'all realize that? That if it's 24 hours in a day, and if you was to have sex, man, it's only gonna be 1 or 2% of your day. That's all it's gonna be, if that. You know what I'm talking about? So then you gotta sit back and look at, if you talking to somebody and all you got to talk about is sex, you know what that's telling me? You ain't got nothing to offer. You ain't got nothing to offer. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that before the word. What do you have to, I'm looking at a woman, I'm thinking, I want to make you my woman. What do you have to offer me? I can walk out the door and see vaginas. There's plenty of them out here. They giving them away for free. They giving them away for chicken boxes. Some giving away for a half a blunt. Some of them giving away for cheesecakes. Some of them just giving them away just because. You know what I'm saying? So I'm serious, you got to look at that. Even with a man, if a man is coming to you and all he talking to you is about is sex, what does he have to offer you besides his penis? Obviously nothing. He can't be. Not if you saying I'm looking for marriage. You know what I'm saying? That not sitting back saying if you talk to this person or we finna get married, but that is your goal. That is your objective. You're not trying to get involved with somebody thinking we just gonna kick the bobo and waste some time. You know what I'm saying? Your goal is, I got your last name. You know what I'm saying? So then you gotta sit back here, what are you looking at? What are you trying to produce with this person? You know what I'm talking about? What is because your conversation shows what type of time both of y'all actually on. You know what I'm talking about? That's what your conversation shows. The abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Ain't that what he told me? So that means that what you talk about, that's where your mind at. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I talk to T. You know what I talk to him about? This right here, life skills, and you know, we got to get this money, man. What you want to do? What you like to do? I want to be a nurse. Well, you ain't gonna be no nurse. You don't be able to work too many hours.
Got one more thing too.
What's that?
Don't you try me.
Oh yeah, that too. You better know that. You better know that. Don't you try me. You know what I'm saying? Try TV. You know what I'm talking about? Try a free sample. Don't you try me though. You find you somebody to play with. Like I said, it's like when we were watching that first, well, you better find you somebody to play with. You know what I'm talking about? Find you somebody to play with. Don't play with yourself, but find somebody to play with. You know what I'm talking about? For real. Shoot. You said that was smooth, huh? You like that, didn't you? You know what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to help y'all out. But I'm being honest though, because I'm trying to get y'all to sit back, because that's what happens. When your conversations pertain to something that is not meat, then you go to start trying to do something in the dark. Then you go to do something in the dark, then you sit back wondering, well, I can't let nobody find out about this. And now you in a perpetual state of living a lie. Because all you trying to do is cover up something that you have done. Because you don't want nobody to know you do it. And when you don't nobody to want you to know you doing it, you add another sin on top of that sin and another lie on top of that lie. Because you go walking around so nervous, wondering if anybody gonna find out about what you did. But you know what the word part is? You didn't care if y'all know or not. 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 20. Make it 18. Y'all all right? That's two witnesses of people doing something in the dark, right? Adam and them ancient men, right? Let's look at number 3. He say, now then do it, for Yahuwah hath spoken of David, saying, by the hand of my servant David, I will save my people, Yasharal, out of the hand of the Philistines and out of the hand of all their enemies. Abner also spake in the ears of Benjamin, and Abner went also to speak in the ears of David in Hebron. All that seemed good to Yasharal, and that seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David to Hebron, and 20 men with him, and David made Abner and the men that were with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will arise and will gather all Yasharal unto my master the king, that they may make league with thee, and that thou may reign over all that thy heart desired. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. Now you know you'll sit back and look at something. You notice what he said? He said he make a feast for him and the men that were with him. Then he said, arise and go, and I'll get all the house of Yasharal and bringing them to make a covenant with you, that you might reign and do all that your heart desire. What does that mean to you, Troy, when you hear that? What that mean to you? He say that Abner came to David, and David made a feast for Abner. Not just for Abner, but the men who were with him. Then when he made that feast of the men that were with him, he turned around and said, you know what? Abner said, I'll go gather all the Yasharal under you, David. I'll go get them all. So you can reign over them as your heart desire. What that sound like? Huh? What that sound like to you, Jordan?
Mashiach gathering the people so he may reign.
But I'm saying, look at the whole thing. You sit back and look at, because you got to look at the flip-flop what's going on. Actually, in this instance, David is not a Mashiach. He would actually be the father. He's telling Abner, come on over here, I'll make a feast for you. Unleavened bread, Passover, a Mashiach supper. I made a feast for you. Bread and the wine. He said, after this feast, he said, I'm going to go get these people and make a covenant with them, make a league with them. I'm going to gather them all up. What did the Mashiach sit back and talk about? I'm going to gather the wheat into my barn and the tares I'm going to burn. The reason why I say that Abner is actually a Mashiach in this instance, because look what Joab do to him. He say, behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the hosts were with him would come, they told Joab, saying, Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and he has sent him away, and he is gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, what hast thou done? Behold, Abner came unto thee. Why is it that thou sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou know Abner, the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going in, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and to know all that thou do. And when Joab came out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sarah, and David knew it not. And when Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the 5th rib, that he died for the blood of Ashel, his brother. So you sit back and look at Joab went and did something in the dark. Ain't nobody know Joab. You see, he say he pulled him to the side quietly. I mean, he didn't want nobody to know what he was doing. So you sit back and look at that Joab came up on this man like Judas came up on the Mashiach. Even though he had done left, he done had the feast. Now him getting ready to die is gathering all of Yasharal back to the Father so he can make a covenant with him. Because where there's no death, a testament is of none effect unless there be the death of a testator. How else he going to be able to make a league with these people unless somebody dies? That's what the word's saying. He said afterwards one day we feel like we in one of them old Christian church hot box numbers. You can't do nothing about it. AC can't out on it. Say afterward when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahuwah forever from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house of Joab one that hath an issue, or that is a leper, or that lean on the staff, or that fall on the sword, or that lack bread. And you know who else Joab turned around and did this to? You know, he did it to somebody else too. Amasa. He did that in the dark too. And it came to light. And you know what David said? You killed 2 men that were more righteous than you. And you know what the Father turned around and did? Gave Solomon the ability to execute judgment to remove him. Because see, Joab didn't feel bad for what he did. There was no repentance in his heart. You see, I'm going to tell y'all something. I want you to read James chapter 4 one more time, what we read the other day. Are you put some water in there for me, sir? I just had to sit back and show y'all this here, but whatever you do in the dark is going to come out, ain't it? We looked at Ezekiel chapter 8, it showed that, right? On the phone, did Ezekiel chapter 8 show you that? Did Adam show you that? Did Joab show you that? He thought he could kill this man and get away with it. David said, boy, I know what you did, boy. Even when you look at David, we didn't read about it, right? Because David's another example. He said, since you did this thing in secretly, what he told him, I'll take your wives from you in the open. Ain't that what he told him? Ain't that what he told David after what he did with Uriah the Hittite? You did it in secret. I'm going to do this in the open. Because what you do in the dark is going to be brought to the light. You can sit back and think you can sin and you're going to get away with it. It's going to come out one way or another. It's like this here. Thank you, sir. It's like this here, right? People be cheating on their spouses. They think they'll never find out about it. They end up finding out. You end up slipping somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? You be lying. Guess what? You end up slipping up in your lie. Somebody catch you in it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm real skillful like that. I bet I can catch you lying. You know how I catch you line? 'Cause I listen to what people say to me, and I say right back what you said to me. And you'll think you done ran it off, and I wasn't listening. I heard every word you said. You could think I wasn't listening. I could have been licking off. I could have been doing this here. You think he heard what I said. Oh, I heard every word. Run it back to you like a tape recorder. You be like, this here, man, I ain't just say that. So now you calling me a lie. Now I'm offended. You know what we tell him after that, sir? I challenge you to a duel. You know what you do when you challenge somebody to a duel? You take a glove and you slap him with it. Wah! I challenge you to a duel.
Somebody gotta die.
That's usually what happens in a duel, sir. I've seen that in a lot of old ones. James chapter 4. Don't pay me no mind. Just pray for me. James 4 and 6, what I want. Just what we read the other day, if I can get around that to it. But he give more grace, wherefore if he saith, Elohim resist the proud, but give grace unto the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to Elohim, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Now we're going to look at some men that when they got caught doing something, they humbled themselves. Now I want y'all to come around here to Psalms 34. Sit down, little Mike. Before your mama crash you, man. I don't want her to crash you, man. Y'all all right on this phone? Y'all all right? I ain't saying nothing. I guess they all right. 34 and 12. 34 and 11. Psalm 34 and 11.
Hey, put that back.
Come ye children, hearken unto me. I will teach you the fear of Yahuwah. What man is he that desire life and love many days that he may see good? Keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. You know what that means from speaking guile? Stop lying all the time. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of Yahuwah are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of Yahuwah is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry, and Yahuwah hear, and deliver them out of their trouble. Listen to what he tells you. Yahuwah is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and save such as be of a contrite spirit. You know what that means to have a contrite spirit? That means to be humble. Isaiah 66. 66 and 1. That's what some of y'all got. Some of y'all ain't got that. Some of y'all don't be necessarily remorseful about what you did or contrite about what you did. You just upset that you got caught. We'll get ready to wrap this up. We have about an hour, 10 minutes. Say, thus saith Yahuwah, Shamahim is my throne, and earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you build unto me? Where is the place of my rest? For all these things have my hand made, and all these things have been, saith Yahuwah. But to this man will I look, even to him that is of a poor and of a contrite spirit, that tremble at my word. Now we already know when the Mashiach was drinking that wine and eating that bread, we know from Ezekiel, we done looked at that before. He said, eat your bread with quaking. So he was trembling. See, you know what the problem with some of y'all is? You gonna tremble at that man's word. So you ain't got that skin, you ain't scared. You know what I'm talking about? See, when you hear that word and he said, thou shalt not steal, you sit back and look at you. He ain't mean that. I'm going right in this store, I'm finna steal that polo shirt. Better I get up out of here. I'm a booster. You know what I'm saying? He said, that's it, thou shalt not commit adultery. I don't care nothing about that's that man wife. I'm finna hit that. You know what I'm saying? He said, you know the commandments which we have received and given unto you from the Lord Yahushua. He said that thou should abstain from fornication, for that is your sanctification. And you should know how to possess your honor, your vessel, and honor and sanctification. And get what you say? I'm finna go do that. He tell you don't be no drunkard. I got me a bottle of wine. You don't tell me he told you to be set apart. You got you a doobie. Man, ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed, bro. It come from the earth. Why you ain't smoking no opium then? That come from the earth too. It come from the earth too, don't it? Around here talking about ain't nothing wrong with smoking you a cigarette or a black or a doobie. Go ahead and smoke that opium then.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and be real with it. Go ahead, Mr. Junkie Man. No, not processed heroin, just the opium. Raw opium. Smoke that. Talking about alcohol is natural. Go ahead, so is oil. Take you a sip of that. Straight up. Go and get you some crude, sweet crude. They say it's sweet. That's what you want, some sweet Genevieve wine. Get you some sweet crude. You know what I'm saying? You have to sit back and look at the rationale that people come up with for doing things they ain't got no business. You know what I'm talking about? You know what? Punks and bulldaggers got stuff to come up with. They say, I was born this way. How can he condemn me because I feel trapped in my body? So you telling me he made a mistake and gave you the wrong body? You supposed to have been a boy, but you a girl. You supposed to have been a girl. You supposed to have been a girl, but you a man. No, you's a confused, sick-minded individual. You are perverted. You are perverse. Something is wrong with you. That is an exit. Got no business going up in there, boy. Everybody walking the house discuss. What is that smell? Huh? You say that happened?
No, it has a lingering odor. I did a floor tech, and there was one room that we went in, and it just smelled utterly.
Hey, now, if you ever did any flow tech like this, you might walk in the room just smell like booty. Nobody even had sex in there. Nigga just might be nasty and stank. Just smell like, and it just stays in the room. Glover know what I'm talking about. Cause boy, there was a bathroom at that plant. Ooh, woo. You walk in there, be like, boy, I ain't going in there. I ain't cleaning that. They just gonna have to live with that. You know what I'm saying? And then I heard them horror story about them houses y'all were cleaning. These people around here got kitty litter drowning in water behind the toilet. It's been back there for weeks. You know what I'm talking about? Walking in here, dirty drawers, coleslaw all in them, all type of stuff, just all around the house. Doo-doo left in the toilet, talking about come clean my. And these supposed to be rich white people. You know, like I said, you don't expect them to be living like this. Ed is just like this. He stay in Oregon, all these people got money. I say when they nasty though. They nasty though. Kitty litter? How you got old kitty litter? Like, okay, you feel like you got enough money, you ain't got to clean your house. You just left that back there, so you just been coming in here bathing and pooping. That didn't even bother you. You know what I'm saying? But I use that analogy to tell you this here. Some of y'all been bathing and pooping in areas where the stench of iniquity was right there in your face and it didn't even bother you. You smelled it. Sin. Smells good to me. I'm gonna breathe in deep. Taking this sin. You gotta look at it that way. You wouldn't sit and walk in no bathroom and no room smell like booty. You gonna get up out of there. What if you walked in a room, boy, and it just smelled like, I'm talking about straight fish and wasn't nobody cooking or cleaning it? He just said he'll get up out of there too. Look at it, his face balled up just at the mention. Well, y'all got to sit back and look at iniquity in that. You're supposed to look at sin the same way you would look at the things in the natural that disgust you. You know what I'm saying? He said, those that love y'all depart from evil. He said, matter of fact, not just depart, he said to hate it. Y'all do know he told you that, right? In multiple locations. He told you to hate the evil. Cleave to that which is good. He said to evil, be simple. But to that which is good, be wise. So y'all just like what he said. Y'all are Sodom's children. You have no understanding. To do good, you have no knowledge. But you wise to do evil though. Y'all know how to do some evil now. Y'all figure that out real fast. Come over here to Psalm 51. Don't even worry about Psalm 51. Come on around here to 2 Chronicles. We got to get it over.
Still holding 2 Samuel. What Isaiah?
66 is done. That's all we wanted. He said, who dwell with him? But he that's of a humble and contrite spirit. 2 Chronicles chapter 30. 30 and 7. Just keep it brief. Just trying to hit a point. Ain't no manifesting of a Mashiach too hard tonight. Just trying to bring home a point. Because once you get caught doing what you're supposed to be doing, something you ain't got no business, yeah, how you supposed to look at this stuff. That's why that man told you, rend your heart, not your garment. Don't tear your clothes up, tear your heart up. Look down on the inward part. Show me you really done humbled yourself, because that's what they put sackcloth and ashes for. You know, put the sackcloth on and sprinkle dirt on their head. That was to show they were mourning and that they were humbling themselves to repent. But you know what y'all began to see? You niggas just doing that, think I moved by it. Rend your hearts, not your clothes. Tear your heart up. Humble your heart before me. How about you tear that up? Don't come at me with no crocodile tears like Esau came with. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he did then. Oh, let me get my birthright. I'm sorry, man. Save that self for somebody else. He said, but how about you show me a transformation in your heart? Y'all hear me? 7. 2 Chronicles 30, verse 7. He's saying, be not like your fathers and like your brethren which trespass against Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation as ye see. Now be ye not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto Yahuwah and enter into his sanctuary. You already told you. Into his what? And what else he said? Which he has sanctified forever. See, y'all will. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it, what I told him. I'm going to show y'all how you're supposed to keep the feast out of the epistle letters and the epistle letters alone. And then I'm going to show you how you're supposed to keep the feast just out the Tanakh and the Torah alone. Because you would have already got it from the first half, which is the epistle letters. You know what I'm talking about? So then when we come back around and read it out the Torah and the Tanakh, guess what they're going to end up doing, Troy? Merge. That ain't even, and guess what? When I say Torah and Tanakh, that count the Gospels too. Please know that count the Gospels too. Y'all know that, right? That's Torah and Tanakh too, ain't it? Woo! We're going to do that tomorrow. Y'all spare our lives. We're going to start that tomorrow. Y'all hear me? Only because somebody texted me a question. I had to deal with this issue with y'all last night and the night. I'm done with that after the night. Let somebody do something stupid. They don't black on your back behind like flies on excrement. You can bet that. I hope that I have to do that. Am I going to have to do that? I hope not. What'd you say? Woo, he hard. He ain't got no confidence in it. You know what I'm saying? I hope I ain't going to have to do that. I done told y'all before. I had no desire to drop a mud hole off in nobody's black behind. I will do it though. Take these size 11 wallabies, turn them things sideways, and stick them straight up. You know the rest. If you ain't watched wrestling, then you don't know the rest. If you did, you know the rest. I'm going to read verse 8 again. Now be ye not stiff-necked, as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto Yahuwah and enter into his sanctuary, which he hath sanctified forever, and serve Yahuwah your Elohim, and the fierceness of his wrath may turn from you. For if you turn again unto Yahuwah, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them that lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For Yahuwah your Elohim is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you if you return unto him. Now I'm going to sit back and tell you something. That's a true story. He won't turn his face from you if you return. But boy, y'all better stop playing with your life like you read last night. Around here trusting in righteousness, trusting you hearing the word, or sit back looking at, well, the man who's teaching it to me, you know, he all right, he straight. That ain't got nothing to do with you. I want to talk something else this here, but I ain't probably going to get it tonight. Matter of fact, I am going to get it tonight before I leave here. I got to do that. How many of y'all in here got churned? Yeah, I got to do that. I got to do that. Well, Ma, it don't count on yours. Your children grown. You know what I'm saying? It don't really apply to you because your children grown. We are accountable for our own self. You know what I'm saying? He says, so the post passed from city to city through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even unto Zebulun, but they laughed them to scorn and mocked them. Nevertheless, diverse of Asher and Manasseh and of Zebulun humbled themselves and came to Jerusalem. Also in Yehudah, the hand of Elohim was to give them one heart to do the commandment of the king and of the princes by the word of Yahuwah. You see what he said again? Also in Yehudah, the hand. You follow me? What we read in Ezekiel, what came and snatched him, y'all? The arm of Yahuwah was revealed in Yehudah. He gave one heart. Remember what he told him? Take, eat, this is my body. Drink, this is my blood. Father, make them perfect in one as we are. He that sanctified and he are sanctified, all are one, for which cause he's not ashamed to call them brethren. And that's what we're going to look at. He said the people can't keep the feast unless they were sanctified. Man, going to sit back and we're going to realize you get into Mashiach, you've been sanctified. You've been set apart. Again, the arm of Yahuwah was revealed to give the people a mind to do what the man told you to do. So now you gotta sit back and look at, if the hand of Yahuwah is being revealed to you, why have you not got a mind to do the king's commandment? Do you not remember when we looked in Ecclesiastes chapter 8 about that? About our counsel to keep the king's commandment in regard to the oath? Man made a covenant with you. I give you recommended course of action. I give you sound advice. If you keep the king's commandment in regard to the covenant, your soul will be delivered. You will receive the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh to life eternal, to dwell with Yah and Yahusha forever. But obviously you can't believe that, because you go contrary to the word at every chance and every corner. Indeed, 32nd chapter of the same book of Chronicles. In those days Hezekiah was sick unto death and prayed unto Yahuwah, and he spake unto him and gave him a sign. But Hezekiah rendered not again according to the benefit done unto him. For his heart was lifted up, therefore there was wrath upon him and upon Yehuda and Jerusalem. Notwithstanding Hezekiah humbled himself for the pride of his heart, both he and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so that the wrath of Yahuwah came not upon them in the days of Hezekiah. You know what I'm talking about? Don't you know Ahab did the same thing, right? When he got caught out there with Jezebel, what he had done, he humbled himself. And you know what he said? He told Elijah, he said, see how he humbled himself before me? He said, I ain't going to do that in his days. He'll go to his grave in peace. He won't see that. See, when you humble yourself before this man, a humble and contrite spirit, Yah will not despise. That's what he said in Telahim, Psalms 51. You know what he said? A humble and, that means you have tore your heart up. Meaning you done tore your mind up. You humbled yourself in your mind. Yah will not despise that. He will not turn away from that. Now I'm going to tell you one thing though. You can try to be like Saul and be sad, and you can bend across that line and you at the point of no return. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing to be playing with by playing with going to the point of no return. Do you understand that man say those that are of a humble and contrite heart, they the ones going to dwell with me. He that tremble at my word. So if you done, you know, in 2 Corinthians 7:9, we're not going to read it. But you know, David showed godly sorrow, right? We didn't talk about godly sorrow before. Godly sorrow is not to be repented of because it work unto salvation. But the sorrow of the world work death. When you actually have godly sorrow, you done something you ain't got no business, there's actual a sorrow, a humbleness from your mind because of your sorrow from sinning against Yah, that you would never commit an act like that ever again. You know what I'm talking about? See, some of y'all don't have no godly sorrow. The reason how I know you ain't got no godly sorrow because you continually do the same thing over and over again. The pattern of the same behavior. So that means when you said you felt bad about it then, you couldn't have felt too bad about it because you did it again. It don't matter if it took you 3 weeks to do it again, 6 months to do it again, a year to do it again, 2 years to do it again. You ain't feel too bad about it because you would have never done it again. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all last night, you know what keep me from doing something I ain't got no business? You know what keep me from doing something? Yeah. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. You do this here, you going to hell. I ain't doing that then. Ain't no maybe, possibly, I could get away with it. I ain't going to hell. I ain't going to hell for T. I ain't going to hell for none of y'all in this room. I ain't going to hell for nobody on this phone. I ain't going to hell for myself. That's enough for me right there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that serious to me. Some of y'all, it ain't that serious to you wonder, well, if I go, I go. Or maybe I can play around for a little bit and maybe I won't go. Exodus chapter 20. No. Wowzers. But that's that case that just don't break it. Lil Mike, calm it down. I'm in Genesis, not Exodus. Pardon me. Exodus chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Now I'm going to show you how he visited iniquity upon somebody's children. Let's look at 1 Samuel chapter 3, and let's look at the first instance. We talked about it the other day. Let's look there first. Then we can look at Ahab. And then we can turn around and look at a couple others. And then we're going to get out. See, I'm going to take back and tell y'all something. And then we also going to look in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. So I'm going to sit back and tell y'all something, right? Y'all child, born on an unclean bed. Your first one, born on an unclean bed. Yours, unclean. Yours, unclean. Yours, unclean. Yours, unclean. I was born unclean. My sister was born unclean. You understand what I'm telling you? Well, that's a serious matter. That means by what your parents did, that could set them children up to go straight to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Even y'all was born unclean. Y'all off in the cut. You know what I'm talking about? Was created on an unclean bed. Defiled bed. You know what I'm saying? You don't possess the man's spirit. That means them children ain't covered. That means they ain't covered because you ain't doing what you supposed to be doing. Your faith ain't where it's supposed to be. That means you got to be highly motivated and dedicated and disciplined to realize it ain't just about you, because they ain't old enough to know for themselves. Now I'm going to say this here. We peeped the other day. She showed a sign that she knows what she doing. She done fasted 2-3 times before, and she had done cuff some pecan and hit him up on her pillow. And tried to go up in her room and go eat him. That let me know you know what you doing. See, we know right this here, Bean head right there. See, we know he know what he doing. You know what I'm talking about? He's aware. See, there is no like specific age. It's when you really cognizant that you sinned against Yah that you accountable. You know what I'm talking about? She showed something, boy, and only Yah knows if he gonna hold it, because boy, she knew what she was doing. You know the intricate planning and thought process it had to take for you to go do that. I'm finna slide out this door and get. Before you even went out the door, you had a formula in your mind. I already know we can't eat today. Mommy, can I go outside? You asking to go outside for one reason and one reason alone, and that's get you about 3-4 pecans. Because you already know you finna slide these pecans up under your pillow, and the first chance you get, you finna slide in that room when ain't nobody watching. Clap and clap. Because this ain't her first rodeo. This ain't Sherelle's first rodeo. She fasted in 2013 and 14 and 15 twice. This ain't her first rodeo. You know what I'm talking about? She tried to buck one. See, she looking right now like she don't know what I'm talking about, what's going on. Like, what you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, Sherelle? You know what I'm talking about. You talking about, remember that day you stood in that corner for over 8 hours? You remember that? Sharon, I bet you remember. You stood in there with her too. And what you was standing in the corner for, Sharon? What you smiling for? Ain't no smiling matter. See, that's how you get your teeth knocked out. What you smiling for? I don't see nothing funny. You want to tell me that again without a smile? Huh? Oh, you hit it in the face with a pillow. Oh, that's how you ended up. I thought because you sat there and seen it with the pecans and ain't say nothing. You hit it in the face. Why you hit it with the face with a pillow? He mad because she had some and he ain't had none. So guess what that mean? Shoot, nigga, you supposed to share. So guess what that mean? You knew what you were doing too. I wouldn't have been mad. You know what I did? This nigga here got pecan mama. You better get her. My stomach touching my back too. You better get her. For real. For real, huh? He like this here. He hit her in the face because she done. He's thinking this. Why he ain't think of that? That's what he was thinking. 1 Samuel chapter 3, right? About verse 22. It say, now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did under all Yasharal, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he said unto them, why do you do such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Now we go swing over here to chapter, oh, I'm sorry, that was chapter 2, verse 13 in chapter 3 though. I'll make it 12. He said, "In this day I will perform against Eli all the things which I have spoken concerning his house. I will begin, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he know, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not." You know what I'm talking about? Now he's supposed to have been a priest. You know the law, you didn't stop them. You let them, you sat there and you watched them do it. That means if you sat there and you watched them do it, it's 9 times out of 10 because you were doing stuff you ain't got no business doing. Now I showed a couple of y'all the day before, you know, Samuel was a righteous, upright man. His sons were evil though. Just because you righteous and upright don't mean your children will necessarily be this here. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. They babies, and hopefully y'all will. He be back here before then. But that pull of that world can be very strong. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? Some of these kids sit back and they'll go with it. See, they too young. But if they had the time to develop and grow and get 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, and they begin to see the kids that's around them, and they get to see what they can do, and it look like it's fun to them, that can pull on them. Whether y'all think it won't or not, that can pull on them. They sitting there looking at their friends at the football games on Friday nights that all of us had done experience, and they won't get to have that experience. You know what I'm talking about? And they sit back looking at, I want that experience. I hear them come back to school talking about the football game they went to Friday night and what they did and all this, that, there, and the third. And I couldn't go because it was Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't think about stuff like that. Then you don't think of your rotten behavior leads to your children's rotten behavior because they watching your wicked rotten behind. Emulating you. Emulating you. 1 Kings chapter 21. We'll stop right there and go further. We'll go no further. Too hot. 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 21. He say, "Behold, I will bring evil upon thee and take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pissed against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Yasharal. I will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahiah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger and made Yasharal to sin." Now Ahab and Jeroboam and all these men, you know what they did? Idol worship, all manner of wickedness. And you know who he ended up paying for that? Their children. You done heard that man say he would kill everybody that pissed against the wall. What did his sons do? Because Yah is a man of his word. I will lay the iniquity upon the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. So you got to sit back and look at everything that you do, or you could be setting your kids up for failure. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We'll start right here in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I remember the first time I told Mouse this, and Mouse told a couple of people that back in New Bern, they thought Mouse had went crazy and lost her mind. All babies get into heaven now. Denise, what you talking about? Shoot, I've been shown otherwise. The lie detector determined that someone is a whore. That's what usually happens on Maury every time. Somebody running off the stage, and the next thing you know, they on all fours with their booty in the air. That's how you ended up on the show in the first place. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and about verse 14. Matter of fact, make it 8. I'll read 8 just to reiterate what I already spoke about. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. I'm going to tell y'all like this here. If you feel the need that you need to have sex that bad, you need to go and get married. And if you know that you are not in any state to get married, you need to get control of yourself. You know what I'm talking about? If your desire is running so hot, you need to masturbate, beat your meat, all that old type of stuff, well, you need to go and get married. And if you ain't in the position to get married, you need to get control of yourself. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Like, ain't no way around that. If you feel like you want to talk to a woman and all you want to talk to her is about sex, And vice versa. Well, you need to go get you a wife, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't ready for no wife, you need to sit your ragged behind down somewhere. Get yourself in order. Because I'm telling you, as a man thinketh, so he is. That's what the word say, right? Think about it too long. That's what you're going to do. That's why I sit back and tell you, don't be stewing on what you did in the past and think about it. Because if you think about it, that's how, if I say something and it hit you, that means it apply to you. You know what I'm saying? I can mess with him about little boy. They used to call you Coco the hoe. Say, man, ain't no hoe no more. Though he just had a situation, thought he had control of his desire, found out he didn't. You know what I'm talking about? But he ain't crossed that line though. You know what I'm talking about? So when you sit back and you look at that, see, you can say something to me, but you was a pothead. Like I said, yeah, I was. I ain't no moto, so that don't apply to me. So you gonna talk about pothead, it ain't gonna bother me, ain't gonna affect me. I don't do that no more. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't talking to me. Hold on, man. Yeah, that stuff don't bother me, man. You know what I'm talking about? Get control of yourself, man. If it's that serious, then you need to get yourself in a better position so you can get married to somebody. You know what I'm talking about? If it's that serious. If it's that serious, you need to go in your bathroom with some lotion and you wake up and turn around after yourself, well, you better than this. It's time to get you a wife, you ain't got to do that. You know what I'm talking about? You around here with cold ice and twiddling on your nipples, it's time to get you a hug. Straight up and down. Time to do something. Shoot. Listen what he say. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but a Mashiach, let not the wife depart from her husband. But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. Let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not a Mashiach. If any brother have a wife that believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And a woman which have a husband that believe not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. All this is saying is if you got somebody who don't follow the faith and they not actually going to interfere with what you do, and you want to stay there, cool. That's all he's saying. The likelihood of you being married to somebody who don't believe in this and not interfering with what you do is slim to none in my opinion. Slim to none in my opinion. The first thing that'll come up where it's gonna be some bucking at it when you say I gotta get all this bread out my house during unleavened bread. Well, I ain't getting no bread up out of here, woman. But you mean gonna eat my sandwich? Have me talking about I can't have no granola bars. What you mean you don't want no pork in this house? What you mean don't bring no honey in here? What you mean what's in this right here? Oh, that's gonna be conflict from now. I don't care what you say. He says, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are Kadesh. If you believing and you don't receive that man's spirit, that cover them till they old enough to be held accountable. That cover them. You know what I'm talking about? And you don't have it, they unclean, they not covered. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all don't realize something. A righteous man, a believing husband, can cover a whole house. He can cover a whole house because he can direct that house in righteousness and in truth. You know what I'm talking about? That if he got a woman who's a woman of Yah, she'll submit herself to that man. Because she'll be submitting herself to a Mashiach, which means she'll be submitting herself to Yahuwah, to the Father. And therefore teach the children likewise to do the same. See, we're going to deal with that when we deal with husbands, to dwell with your wives according to knowledge. But right now, we're going to deal with them things we said with the feast days. But that being said, praise y'all for Yahusha and the word. Y'all understood all this stuff this evening?